Facebook Live. Excited to be with you today. Really have some important things to talk about. So let's jump to it. Purpose. We talk about purpose all the time in our group here on a page. The question is, do we have only one purpose? Do we have only one purpose? Now, mathematically, this feels good, right? It feels good to say that there is one way, there is one road, and when you're on that road, you know it, however it is you know it, intuitively, through God, through others, whatever, you just know this is the path I'm supposed to be on, and when you know it, it's like you've hit the jackpot, right? Like, I'm on the right path. It feels good to say that there's one way. But here's what I've experienced. I've watched people struggle so much because it's like, well, if it's one path, one way, then how do I know that the path of purpose that I'm on is the right one? And then they get, worked up and talk themselves out of it and really being afraid that if I'm on this one path right here, then what if my real purpose is somewhere over there and I'm not walking on that path? I mean, oh my gosh, the frustration, the confusion that causes folks is tremendous. And so I want to propose to you today that there really isn't just one path, one main sort of street you have to stay on, if you will, to be walking into your purpose. So here's the deal. My own story looks like this. From the time I was in 4th grade, I have wanted to be a journalist. I had the opportunity of interviewing the governor, former governor of Missouri, for a project, okay? And so I'm in Jeff City, which is our capital. I'm sitting in this big chair. I'm like 8, 9, whatever, and my feet don't even touch the ground. And I'm sitting there with these students who are college students in the journalism program, and they are interviewing the governor, asking real questions about policy. And I'm asking questions like, do you think your son, John Jr., will grow up in your footsteps? Well, it seemed trivial perhaps to them, but for me, that day, that solidified for me that I was going to be a journalist. I learned what the word was, and everything in my power that I could do to become a journalist, that's what I did. And so from 4th grade all the way through choosing the #1 J school in the country, up until all those things, like choosing #1 J school, becoming a journalist, writing for national newspapers, from internships to actually having a job for a couple of years, also as a reporter. Like, I became a journalist. That's what I did. I wrote articles. And now today, I don't write for a newspaper. I write messages, I write sermons, I write posts to encourage people and to share what I believe to be the good news of Jesus Christ. It looks quite different. You see, I see purpose evolves and it changes over time, and it might look differently. Here's what I think happens is we get perhaps a seed of purpose, of what our purpose might be, or how we might move in purpose, and we hold on to it as a seed. And because we think it's only one way, then we almost suffocate it. We hold it so tightly so that it stays the exact same, always looking the same way. And so we just have a seed in our hand. We haven't planted it. We haven't allowed it to get, have roots, let alone grow a stalk and actually bear fruit. And so while some people want to believe that there's only one purpose, maybe we could get with that, but it's not one purpose if it stays looking the exact same the entire time, which is a seed in your hand that has yet to be planted or grown. So I want to encourage you to plant your seed. If you have a seed of purpose, if you have an idea of what you think it might be, do something with it. Put it in some fertile ground. Start to water it. Allow it to take shape. The problem with believing our purpose is one static thing, is that we hold on to that image, this figment of what it could be, and then the reality is we're holding on to a seed, and then we're constantly defeated because we'll say, but it's not looking like anything, or I'm not sure what to do with it, and so we hold on to something that looks the same year after year, month after month, what have you, and we begin to even wonder then if this is really the thing I should be holding on to. So the question is, are you allowing your purpose to evolve and to change and to grow? Are you allowing that seed to be planted, to bear fruit, to bear roots, and then eventually fruit? And not be afraid of it looking different, right? We have to hopefully be open to what the purpose can look like, because the reality is, even from that one seed could be birthed an entire garden. And so what you do today and what you think is your purpose can look very different when you begin to look at ways in which that purpose can take even bear new fruit. And so you can have a garden field of all kinds of things, but still be, if you will, rooted with a purpose to do one big thing. For me, that's emotional health and supporting Christian leaders from the pulpit to the pew, and being emotionally healthy, and then actually taking action in doing that. And so that can look a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to look like a Facebook Live or a book or coaching. It can take on so many methods. And so I think sometimes we get perhaps stuck in the method and not allowing what God has already planted in us, identified in us, to actually take root and to grow fruit. So I want to invite you to give your purpose some light, some love, to plant it, to let it grow. And yeah, that, a seed goes into the dark, and you're gonna have times where you're not certain. But don't continue to question and to continue to keep chasing after other things. Allow some space and some time for who you are and who God has created you to be, to become. And so that's our thoughts for today. I welcome your comments. What do you think? What do you agree with? What do you want to challenge me on? I think this is an important conversation to be having, because I believe perhaps in our churches we've disserved people to say that there's this one way, and if you don't do it this one way, or that you have this one purpose, and if you're not dead smack on it, then you're going to that somehow you're not okay. And it gets really frustrating. But I think that God can use all of those things and allow purpose to continue to evolve and to grow and to change into what it will be. And then over time, it begins to look like lots of things. So here we go. Share your purpose. Share what you think you're called to do right now in this season, perhaps, of your life. And then also share some of your comments about what you think. Do we have one purpose or multiple? I'd love to hear from you. Be well, folks. See you soon.